7 dietary tips to eat healthily. Now, before I progress, let's have a quick recap. Now, healthy eating means eating a variety of different foods every single day. So you are now eating that variety of foods. How else can you improve your diet? So if you follow these 7 tips, that will be perfect. Now, the first tip is always eat 3 meals a day. Never miss a meal. Are you one of these people who skips breakfast because you can't be bothered, you're in a rush or want to lose weight? Don't do that, please. It just doesn't work. Your body is playing catch up for the rest of the day. Now, the other reasons why it's important to make sure that you have the 3 meals is that if you miss a meal, you're instantly depleting your body of the nutrients it requires. Skipping a meal also affects the movement of our digestive system. If it's not working properly, that can lead to constipation, diarrhea, bloating. If you skip a meal, what type of foods do you crave? You crave those high fat, high sugar foods, and these are often high in calories and really don't supply our body with any other nutrients. Eating regularly, eating those 3 meals actually increases metabolism. This can help with weight loss and help to keep our weight constant. Also, eating those 3 meals a day provides our body with the energy that it needs so that we don't get energy slumps, so that we don't feel tempted to have those high sugary snacks. And if you're exercising, it's really important to make sure that you have those 3 meals. If you skip a meal and you exercise, you are not going to perform exercise efficiently. Right, so tip number 2 is to make sure that you drink at least 2 litres of water a day. All of the processes that happen in the body require you to have that water. Also, if you suffer with constipation, it might be that you're not drinking enough water. Water is needed to help to push the excess and the waste products out of your body. Also, when processes happen in our body, we get toxins, and these need to be eliminated from our body. Water is important for that. Now, research does suggest that tea, coffee and other caffeine drinks will provide our body with the water, but what I always say, because caffeine can have a negative impact upon our body as well, is to make sure that you drink no more than 3 a day of tea and coffee, and to have your 2 litres of water on top of that. Now, for those of you that drink mainly soda drink, those fizzy drinks, they do not count towards the 2 litres, so you need to start to incorporate water into your diet, please. Now, the next tip is aim for at least 5 portions of fruit and vegetables a day. Now, remember that these can be fresh, frozen, juice, canned and dried. Fruit juice, no matter how much of it you consume, will only count towards 1 portion. This is because the natural fruit sugar has become concentrated and leads to acid production. This acid can attack your teeth. All the fibre and pith has been removed too, and these contain extra vitamins and minerals which your body requires. Remember, just 1 fruit juice a day. Now, as I mentioned previously, kidney beans, lentils, chickpeas will count as that 1 portion, so that's absolutely brilliant. And remember that potatoes don't count as a portion, they count towards your starchy foods. Now, what is a portion? 1 portion is equivalent to 3 heaped tablespoons of vegetables. So 1 piece of medium fruit, such as 1 sort of medium-sized banana or an apple, 2 smaller fruits, or a small handful of fruits. Okay, so that's what 1 portion is. The next tip number 4, is to make sure that you eat starchy foods with every single meal. So the starchy foods will include your rice, your flatbreads and other wheat products, chickpeas, gram flour, lentils, beans, corn, yam, potatoes. Okay. Now, eating a variety of these carbohydrates, starchy foods are important. They provide us with some calories, okay? A good source of calories. They also provide us with a small amount of protein, as well as vitamins, minerals and fibre. For those of us who want to maintain our weight or even lose a bit of weight, these are very important to eat because they can be very filling. And starchy foods also help to prevent us overeating those fatty and sugary foods. They also help with that energy release. They give us a good supply of energy so that our energy doesn't go up and down. It's constant, and that really is important for us because it prevents the highs and lows of eating sugary foods, which can affect our energy levels, our stress levels, our concentration levels. Okay, so we've looked at those type of foods. Now we're going to look at foods that we need to cut down on. So tip number 5 is to cut down on your added sugars. Now I'm going to discuss this in a lot more detail in some other videos and blogs. Now sugars are basically sugars that have been taken out of their natural environment and then added to foods, such as your fizzy soda drinks, cakes, biscuits, sweets, plus the sugar that you add yourself to your teas and coffees and maybe to your desserts. So we really need to cut down on these added sugars as much as possible. The next one that you need to cut down are the fats. There are good and bad fats, and the bad ones you need to cut down are called trans fats. And again, I will be talking about these in a lot more detail later on in another blog and video. Now these trans fats are basically fats that have been chemically altered, okay? And they've been shown to have a really bad negative effect upon our health, and we do need to cut them out as much as possible. And these trans fats can be a big problem here in Pakistan. So what you need to look out for on ingredients is anything that says it contains saturated vegetable oil, hydrogenated vegetable oil, okay? Anything that says it's hydrogenated means that it has been chemically changed and is a trans fat. You can also find them in commercially baked products such as cakes, biscuits, pies. A lot of processed foods can contain these trans fats. Deep fried food can contain trans fats because the oil that they use it's been chemically changed so that it lasts longer. And a lot of fast food chains will use this chemically changed oil for frying because it's cheaper basically. Non-dairy creamers as well will contain these trans fats. And again, I said I'm going to be looking at this in more detail later on in another blog. So tip number 7 is cut down on your added salt, okay? Now research has shown there to be a link between our salt intake, blood pressure and heart disease. So a way that you can cut down on salt, make sure that when you're cooking, don't add it when you're actually cooking, just add it at the table if you feel that you do need more salt in your food. Perhaps use more herbs and spices as well so that you don't need to eat so much salt. A lot of savoury snacks will contain salt, a lot of salt, so cut back on the amount of savoury snacks that you're having, such as your crisps and your crackers. Also, take note that a lot of fast food chains and possibly restaurants can add a lot of salt to their foods. Okay, so you just need to be aware of that. So, again, the 7 tips. Always eat your 3 meals a day. Drink at least 2 litres of water. Eat at least 5 portions of fruit and vegetables. Eat those starchy foods with every single meal. Cut down on your sugars, your bad fats, and your salt.